instead of singing in a heavenly choir. No one had ever accused him of being righteous, or even true. The point was that he had no reason to be bored. Natalie knew sexual tricks to put a houri to shame, and had the stamina of an undead Olympic athlete. She was willing to try anything, no matter how depraved, and if it got her off, she'd do it again until she could give lessons to the experts. How in God's name could he have gotten sick of that? He didn't know, but he had. He'd gotten sick of all the women. And all modesty aside, Graham Winters had had a lot of women. Some were little more than one-night stands, some recurrent companions, and some, like Natalie, had bordered on casual relationships, but none managed to hold his interest for more than a few weeks. The only reason Nat had lasted so long had more to do with his disinclination to deal with the fit he'd known she'd throw than with any real desire to keep her around. He'd tried just about anything he could think of to spice up their last few weeks together, but eventually even exotic tricks hadn't been able to keep his interest. When he'd started leaving all-night orgies with his muscles trembling in exhaustion and his dick still hard as a pike, he had thrown in the towel. Now that he knew no woman could satisfy him, he saw no reason to keep torturing himself with sex that wore him out everywhere but where it counted. That had led to Natalie's dismissal, complete with the expected and unpleasant scene, and eventually to this, his 13th night of celibacy, spent in Dimitri's living room celebrating his friend's post-wedding engagement party. Taking another sip of liquid fire, Graham glanced around the room and wondered how much longer etiquette required him to stay. He viewed Dimitri as a brother, and he genuinely liked Regina, so he was glad to share in the celebration, especially since he'd had to duck out on his best man duties at their reception in order to deal with a fire in the kitchen of the nightclub he owned. What he wasn't so glad of was the speculative glances currently being aimed in his direction by a large number of the room's single, and some not-so-single, women. He worked at ignoring their interest, but he knew it was only a matter of time before one of them decided to lay off the staring and make a move. "I vote for the redhead. She looks like the type who's ready for anything. Plus, I don't think she's wearing panties." His friend and Beta appeared at Graham's side, carrying a dark brown beer bottle and wearing a repressed smile. Logan Hunter knew all about Graham's predicament and seemed to find it amusing. Graham shot him a narrow look. "She never does," he grumbled. "But I doubt Shelley is going to put the make on me. Not after the last time we went out." "Did you spill a drink on her dress or something?" Graham shook his head. "I criticized her, technique." Logan winced around a chuckle. "Ouch. Okay, maybe not the redhead then." He glanced back to where Shelley stood, whispering to a couple of other women. "Could be her friend. The one almost wearing the green dress. Do you think those are real?" "On vampires, they're always real. They can't afford to bleed out during surgery just to get implants." He gave the other woman an assessing look. "Besides, not even silicone can make tits that firm. Hildy works out." Raising his beer for a drink, Logan rolled his eyes. "And I'm sure you'd know. But you could at least make an effort. Lady knows you need to do something to lighten your mood. What the hell is up with you tonight, anyway?" "3 guesses," Graham muttered. "I'll even spot you the first 2. Logan grimaced. "Shit. Curtis. Right both times. What's he done now?" Same old, same old. This week he tried to get Bill Lakeland to take an interest in examining the validity of the challenge Dad and I fought when he decided to retire and leave the business of Alpha to me." Logan nearly choked on his beer. "You've got to be kidding me." "I wish. I don't care how many packs consider Bill an expert of the traditional procedures for Alpha challenges. You took that fight fair and square. Your father wouldn't even cut your mother any slack in a challenge ring, let alone the son he raised to continue his family dynasty. You know that."